Play ball!
Wing Wednesday on Sports Tree Ltd is presented by Halo Fishing from American Baitworks.
Steer right!
Hello and welcome to this doubleheader edition of Wing Wednesday presented by Halo Fishing from American Baitworks. Folks, I'm Connor Roundtree and the Blue Jays game was rained out yesterday, so without a game to preview last night, we thought, hey, why not give you a doubleheader show this Thursday afternoon to prepare you for tonight's matchups. But before we give you that, we're going to give you our MLB news rundown. Starting in the American League East, the Tampa Bay Rays have won 9 out of their last 10 games to catapult them atop of the AL East. In the Central, the Chicago White Sox lead the AL Central. And out west, it's the Oakland Athletics still in control. Shifting over to the National League, starting in the NL East, it's still under the supremacy of the New York Mets. The St. Louis Cardinals lead a tight NL Central division, and on the West Coast, it's the San Diego Padres who have taken the reins. Getting into our Blue Jays weekly flyby, the Blue Jays snapped a 6-game losing streak against the Yankees on Tuesday night. After getting swept by the Rays, it was a solid performance from the entire squad en route to a 6-2 victory. The Yankees, on the other hand, had won 6 straight before losing to the Jays on Tuesday night. They swept a very strong Chicago White Sox team, outscoring them a combined 14-5 across the 3-game series. Well, Steven Matz held the Yankees to just 1 earned run across 6 2/3 innings of work with 10 strikeouts. Today is a much more anticipated matchup. Toronto's top pitching prospect, Alek Manoah, will make his big league debut. Across 18 innings in AAA Buffalo this season, he's 3-0 with a .5 ERA and 27 strikeouts. The 6'6", 260-pound 23-year-old also powered past the Yankees in spring training, striking out 7 in 3 innings of work. And on top of that, he didn't allow a run across 3 spring training appearances. The Yankees are countering with Domingo Germain. He threw 7 scoreless innings in Arlington his last time out, holding the Rangers to just 6 hits. Germain did get beat up by the Birds earlier this season though, and I like the young exuberant Jays to provide some solid run support for their new young pitcher. Throwing Manoah right at the Yankees in Yankee Stadium is a bold strategy to say the least, but the power righty has proven himself at every level, so let's see what this kid's got. I like him to make a strong debut, and he is hands down our Jay to watch in Game 1. Game 2 is yet another pitching duel. The Blue Jays' Robbie Ray has had tremendous control of his pitches this season. He's walked 1 batter in his last 6 starts and still has his strikeout pitches working for him, with 55 Ks this season. Ray has allowed just 6 hits in his last 2 starts against the Yankees. His counterpart, Jordan Montgomery, is coming off a career-high 11 strikeouts and a season-high 7 scoreless innings against a stellar Chicago White Sox lineup. Our player to watch, however, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy is not only tied for the major league lead in home runs with 16, he leads the majors in slugging percentage and is 3 for 3 with the home run against Montgomery in his career. Vladdy is our Jay to watch in Game 2. With solid pitching and consistent batting, the Blue Jays have 2 winnable matchups today in the Bronx.
Talking about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Blue Jays' hot bats heading into tonight's game has me ready to taste some hot and spicy chicken wings. But first, a word from our sponsor. Folks, here we go with our chicken wing tasting from State and Maine. You can see the chicken wings right here. Not the biggest, and to be honest with you, kind of wrinkly. These chickens look like they were ready to get killed and cooked. They were at the end of their line, and they're not very big either, so I'm thinking malnourished chickens that State and Maine uses to supply. You can see my Halo Fishing hat right here. Make sure you head over to Halo Fishing, our sponsors. Check out all their awesome merchandise and purchase one of those new HFX rods. Here we go. Grip it, dip it, and lip it. It's supposed to be a hot buffalo kind of flavor. Not really getting the buffalo side of things here. Kind of bland. Again, the wings are small. State and Maine, 3.8. This hat, though, is a 10 from Halo Fishing, so make sure you go and check it out.
Getting into our fantasy up and down, starting with a pitcher that you should put up and into your lineup, it's Luis Garcia. He's 3-0 in the month of May with 34 strikeouts across 5 starts. The Astros starter pitched 6 scoreless innings against the Dodgers with 7 Ks in his last start. As for a batter you should look to put into your lineup, look no further than Brad Miller. The versatile fielder has been on fire with his bat, slugging .537 in his last 67 at-bats, with 7 hits and 5 RBI and a pair of dingers in his last 5 games played. As for a batter you should put down, look no further than Milwaukee Brewers outfielder Christian Yelich. I had the former MVP as a top 10 outfielder going into this season. I said it on this show, but between injuries and cold streaks, the Brewers outfielder is flat out underperforming. Yelich is just 2 for his last 22 at-bats since May 18th. As for a pitcher that I'm putting down, it's Luis Castillo. He's pitched into the 6th inning just twice this season. The Red starter is on a horrid streak, losing 6 consecutive starts. He's still 80% owned across the majority of fantasy platforms. People, move on. As for our game of the day, it's the Angels versus the Athletics, and this AL East rivalry will feature marquee pitching and heavy hitters. The Angels MVP frontrunner Shohei Ohtani will get the ball. Ohtani has a 1-0 record with a .237 ERA with 45 strikeouts through a little over 30 innings of work this season. The A's counter with Chris Bassitt, and he is cooking. He's 4-0 with a .326 ERA in his last 8 starts. His last start came against the very Angels he takes on tonight. Last Saturday, he struck out 8 Angels through 7 2/3 innings of work while allowing just 2 runs. Outside of the 2 starting pitchers, our player to watch is David Fletcher. Fletcher is hitting .467 in 15 career at-bats against Bassitt. I like the Halos to win their 4th in a row and pull off the upset in Oakland. As for a Monkey Knife Fight play of the day, we're going to look at our game of the day, and we're going to play a more or less contest, and we're going to look at Chris Bassitt first. As I just said, he struck out 8 batters through 7 2/3 innings of work his last time out against the Angels. He's 4-0 in his last 8 starts and has 54 strikeouts in his last 7 starts, so make sure you take more on his strikeout line. As for Anthony Rendon, he is just 1 for his last 18 and didn't have a hit against Bassitt in last Saturday night's matchup. Take less on the cold third baseman's hits plus walks line. As for a trivia question on this week's episode of Wing Wednesday, to get in to win a pair of MLB tickets brought to you by Halo Fishing from American Baitworks, who was the first Major League player to have their number retired? Head on over to our web app right now, sign up or subscribe and answer that question. Remember that an upgrade in your subscription is an upgrade in your chances to win tickets to see your favorite teams play live and to win $15,000 per year. Folks, on behalf of our sponsors, Halo Fishing from American Baitworks, I'm Connor Roundtree, and when in doubt, just wing it. Hey, ball. Wing Wednesday on Sports Tree LTD is presented by Halo Fishing from American Baitworks. Steer right!